And so now we're going to come into a little bit here and compare our month over month stats as we take a look at, median price, transaction volume. And it's interesting. We're already seeing just a little bit of a decline, funny enough, which is interesting to see because, again, we're looking at overall for York. But there's other pockets that have been doing quite well. But we're seeing, down 3.9% in median price month over month. Transaction volume being down 22%.
Yeah, transaction volume. Now, okay, you're going to potentially expect that from December to January, you would get more potential transactions. So I think the fact that we were down 22%, and even if we look at last year, year over year, we're down 25% for that January on the amount of actual transactions that are taking place. Another big thing to look at is the new volumes listing up 152% month over month. Now, that's not many people list their property in December, so we expect to see that number skewed. But let's look at last January to this January, we're up 45.6%. So we know that we're getting more listings added to the market compared to what we saw last year. And I think last year was a little bit stronger in the beginning of the year because we didn't have that kind of rush of listings, and we had the buyers out there that were looking. This year, we're having a lot more sellers on the market. Maybe real estate agents are telling their clients that, hey, this is what happened last year. You got to get out there early, and maybe we're seeing some stuff pulled forward a little bit. And then the other one, the termination volume at the bottom here, I wanted to talk about. We've had 487 terminations in January, which was up 60% year over year. And that kind of tells me that places aren't selling. So they're either relisting them at the same price or they're taking them off and relisting them at a lesser price. Maybe they're changing their strategy. Maybe they're trying to get a bidding war. But it's showing me that places aren't selling as quickly as before. So there's some adjustments that are being made to those listings. Anything else you want to add to the transitions volume?
Yeah, I want to speak specifically to the termination volume that you just brought up and seeing that increase of almost 60% when we compare the same time last year. I think the big miss that is happening is just like you said, there are people out there that are saying, hey, this is what happened in January 2024. Worked great. Hold offers. It's going to be fantastic. It's January. There's not a lot of listings out there. But I don't think they're taking enough time to actually look at what's out there because not every neighborhood is like that. There are some neighborhoods right now, that there's not a lot of competition. Be a perfect time to hold offers if you get your pricing right. And then the flip side of that is I think that there are people that are holding offers right now at prices that have no business holding offers and it's not working out for them. And that's why you're seeing that cancel and relist. That's why you see new listing activity go up and termination go up. And it's great that we've got this chart for the first time showing that termination volume to counteract as we saw new listing volume go up, because usually you can't have one without the other unless it's really bad and we're only getting new listings without the sales. So to me, what this says is there's too many people out there picking the wrong marketing strategy, whether it be pricing just off the get-go or they're holding in a situation where they shouldn't be.
Absolutely. I've noticed it myself. I've looked at price. I said, this is 50,000, 75,000 below what I think the place should go for. Are they selling it cheap? And then I'll dig in deeper and you realize, no, they're holding offers. And ultimately they're not panning out. And then they're just relisting them to a price that honestly they should have just started off in the beginning with.
The first time. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest misses, there's two big misses that I find when people make that mistake in their marketing strategy. One is they get the pricing wrong from the get-go and it deters people to take a look at it. Two, there's just not enough buyers looking in the neighborhood right now for that strategy to work, right? So if you don't have the buyers, the multiple offer strategy, the bidding wars, it's just not going to pan out because you need enough people coming to the property to bring that from your low price back up to market value and ideally a little bit above is how that strategy would work. And it's just not the case. And same as you, I've seen it a couple of times personally. I've gone out, taken my buyers. I've inspected a few properties and I get there expecting to see a lot of business cards because agents are supposed to leave their business cards after their showings. And I don't see any business cards. It's now their fourth day on the market. And I'm like, maybe the seller's just tidying up after every showing. They don't like to leave them out. never a good idea either in terms of generating a buzz. You want to see those cards there. But sure enough, offer night comes and that listing gets no offers and doesn't sell, cancels, relists. So again, I think it's a missed strategy, and that's why it's so important to evaluate your current market, your local market, as opposed to taking a look at, is a January trend.
And you know what? It's not even, it's like looking at, let's say you're from Newmarket, you're looking at the Newmarket market, but then you're looking at your little community as well that you're in, whether it's Bristol, London, or Central Newmarket, and making sure that in that area as well, you're seeing the trend that allows you to do the strategy that you want, because that's what that area is saying is working for those types of properties.
Exactly. So say you've got somebody come down to Aurora. Say you've got somebody looking in Bayview Northeast where there's 6 townhomes available right now. Flip side, you go to the other side of Bayview looking for that same townhome. There's nothing available, right? So when one comes up and the two neighborhoods hold different pricing just a little bit, there's different strategies to take into account when you're on the listing side, and then different choice available when you're on the buy side.